The author I chose was Richard Wright, and some of the main points about my essay are kind of his background and how that leads to kind of him like choosing his writing style, how he kind of portrays a lot of like young black males who face a lot of racism, and they make pretty bad decisions based on this racism. And I think that's kind of the main message that Richard Wright is trying to prove in his writing, and that's kind of the main points in my essay. My specific thesis is Richard Wright became the father of African American literature by changing people's beliefs and showing them why they're wrong. I chose this topic because I thought Richard Wright was a really interesting author. I really liked A Man Who's Almost a Man, which is what we covered in class by him, so I decided to choose him for this. How I revised the first draft was kind of looking at like specific spots, whereas the thesis, I would say, I changed the thesis, which kind of changes the whole layout of my essay and kind of where it was going. So that's what I revised for that. It took me a long time to work on the revision. It took me the whole week after we got it back. I worked on it a couple hours, 3-4 hours every day at least. And then the 4 comments that I revised, 4 of your comments that I revised were the thesis. Obviously, you thought the thesis was pretty broad, so I tried to narrow it down about what he actually did. And then I started to explain his actual writing, so like the stories and like what his actual writing means, like the purpose and why he kind of writes like that, which is pretty much like his upbringing and how he was poor and faced, this terrible racism and oppression throughout his childhood. And he really shows the consequences of it as like an actual human, like someone, a Bigger Thompson, who makes these terrible decisions in his life, and it ruins his life because of it. So another part is kind of talking about both the stories and relating them to each other. I didn't really do that until you commented on it, so I changed that and related the 2 stories, Native Song and The Man Who Was Almost a Man, together. And then the 4th comment is I talked about the interview more in depth, kind of explaining more about his writing and like why he writes about like young black men that make these terrible decisions based off of all the racism that they face. And for the writing center, like your email said, I wasn't able to schedule an appointment with the College of San Mateo Writing Center, but I go to Kenyatta College, so I worked with a tutor at the Writing Center there, and they helped me with their feedback by helping one of my main argumentative like paragraphs talking about his youth and his upbringings. It was pretty repetitive, so they helped me cut out a lot of like the fluff, I guess, like the parts where I repeat myself a lot, and that really helped. What grade I think I deserve for this work? I worked really hard. I think I showed everything that I have to offer. This is my best work, I think. So then I guess an A for that. And for the class, for my grade overall, I worked really hard. This class was pretty difficult for me. Just all the workload of the writing was pretty hard for me, and I really tried my best. So I hope to get a C for the course. Thank you.